The truck rumbled, a metal beast carrying its unwilling cargo. Inside, a young pig huddled, her pink skin slick with sweat and fear. The air reeked of manure and terror, a potent cocktail that made her sensitive snout twitch. She didn't understand the journey or the destination. She only knew the growing dread that gnawed at her insides. The truck screeched to a halt, the sudden stop sending a jolt through her small body. Rough hands grabbed her, pulling her from the familiar darkness into blinding light. The screams of her companions, a chorus of agony and despair, filled her ears. She struggled against the grip, her hooves slipping on the blood-soaked concrete. This was no farm. This was a place of death. She wanted her mother, her soft grunts, the warmth of her siblings huddling close, but there was no comfort here. Only the cold clang of metal and the stench of something akin to fear, but far more primal. Her heart hammered against her ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the symphony of suffering that surrounded her. They called it a processing plant, a sterile term for a place of such visceral horror. Rusty hooks hung from the ceiling, grim reminders of the fate that awaited her. The air, thick with the coppery tang of blood and the stench of feces, felt heavy, suffocating. It clung to her skin, a macabre perfume that spoke of suffering and death. Men, their faces grim and devoid of emotion, moved like automatons through the abattoir. They were desensitized to the terror, the suffering, their humanity lost somewhere in the efficiency of the slaughter. Each squeal, each whimper was met with the same cold indifference, the same mechanical precision that belied the brutality of their task. She saw her brethren fall, one by one, their cries abruptly silenced. Their eyes, wide with terror, reflected her own fear back at her, amplifying the horror tenfold. The metallic clang of the slaughterhouse echoed in her ears, a death knell that chipped away at her sanity, her will to live. If only these blood-soaked walls could speak, what tales of horror would they tell? Tales of sentient beings capable of feeling fear and pain, herded like inanimate objects toward their demise. Tales of mothers separated from their young, their anguished cries echoing unanswered in this cold, sterile hell. How can we, as a society that prides itself on compassion and empathy, turn a blind eye to this suffering? How can we justify the taking of a life not out of necessity but out of convenience, out of a desire for a fleeting moment of culinary gratification? The ethics of factory farming are clear. It is a system built on exploitation, a system that prioritizes profit over compassion, a system that treats living, breathing creatures as mere commodities. We have become desensitized to the plight of these animals, their suffering hidden behind the sanitized walls of factory farms and slaughterhouses. She would not go quietly. This pig, this being of flesh and blood and fear, would fight for her life, for every breath was a victory against the overwhelming tide of despair. She would kick, she would squeal, she would resist the fate that awaited her with every ounce of strength her small body could muster. Let her struggle be a testament to the indomitable spirit that resides within all living creatures, a spirit that yearns for freedom, for a life free from suffering. Let her story be a beacon of hope, a call to action for a more compassionate world where the cries of the innocent are heard, not ignored. We have the power to choose compassion over cruelty, to opt for a plant-based diet that doesn't contribute to this cycle of suffering. Let us choose kindness. Let us choose life. Let us be the change we wish to see in the world.